Prime Minister Narendra Modi says mantra to stay relevant in post-COVID world is to skill, reskill and upskill. While addressing 5th anniversary of Skill India mission, PM Modi says more than 5 crore people skilled in last 5 years. Asserts skilled youth will be major strength of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold virtual summit with European Union leaders. Trade and investment likely to remain focus of the summit. Fight against COVID-19 and research and development on vaccines also on the agenda. CBSE announces class 10 results. Overall pass percentage stands at 91.46%. Yet again, girls outshine boys with 99.28% pass percentage. Thiruvananthapuram region tops in India. HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank congratulates all the students. HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal launches most affordable probe-free RT-PCR based COVID-19 test kit, CoroSure, produced by IIT Delhi. New kit is classic example of Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. In Maharashtra, incessant rains lash Mumbai, Thane, Palghar and other coastal areas, leaving low-lying areas waterlogged. Met Department issues orange alert, warning heavy to very heavy rains for the next 2 days in Mumbai and other coastal areas, including Pune. Number of people recovering from COVID-19 in India now twice number of people infected. Health Ministry says India is major player in vaccine development. Asks states to ramp up testing. Bihar announces complete lockdown from 16th to 31st July. Bangalore goes under complete lockdown till 22nd of July. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukma. In our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed on the occasion of World Youth Skills Day to mark the completion of 5 years of the Skill India mission. A digital conclave was organized by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. On the occasion, addressing the virtual event, the Prime Minister underlined the mantra of skill, reskill and upskill to stay relevant in these times of coronavirus. The Prime Minister also said that India is making great strides while understanding the difference between knowledge and skill. He added that 5 years ago on this day, the Skill India mission was launched with this idea only. PM Modi further said that thousands of Pradhan Mantri Skill Development Centers had been opened across the country to facilitate the same. He asserted that skill development not only enhances knowledge but one's talent as well.
रिलेवेंट रहने का मंत्र है स्किल, रीस्किल और अपस्किल। स्किल का अर्थ है आप कोई नया हुनर सीखें, जैसे कि आपने लकड़ी के एक टुकड़े से कुर्सी बनाना सीखा तो आपका हुनर हुआ। आपने लकड़ी के उस टुकड़े की कीमत भी बढ़ा दी, वैल्यू एडिशन किया, लेकिन ये कीमत बनी रहे इसके लिए नई डिजाइन, नई स्टाइल, यानी रोज कुछ नया जोड़ना पड़ता है। उसके लिए नया सीखते रहना पड़ता है और कुछ नया सीखते रहने का मतलब ही है रीस्किल। और हमारी जो स्किल है उसका और विस्तार करना, जैसे छोटे मोटे फर्नीचर बनाते बनाते आप और भी चीजें सीखते गए, पूरा का पूरा ऑफिस डिजाइन करने लग गए, तो वो हो गया अपस्किल। स्किल, रीस्किल और अपस्किल का ये मंत्र जानना, समझना और उसका पालन करना हम सभी के जीवन में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
Prime Minister asserted that the Ministry of Skill Development has started mapping opportunities which can help the youth to accumulate accurate information. PM Modi also emphasized on the new portal of skill mapping for migrant workers, which he said has played an important role in mapping their skills. He further added that the initiative will lead to the aim of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
भारत में नॉलेज और स्किल दोनों में जो अंतर है उसे समझते हुए ही काम हो रहा है। आज से 5 साल पहले आज के ही दिन स्किल इंडिया मिशन इसी सोच के साथ शुरू किया गया था। इसका मकसद यही था कि यूथ को नॉलेज के साथ ही स्किल भी मिले, कौशल भी मिले। इसके लिए देश भर में सैकड़ों प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास केंद्र खोले गए, ITIs की संख्या बढ़ाई गई, उनमें लाखों नई सीट्स जोड़ी गई। इस दौरान 5 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोगों को स्किल डेवलपमेंट किया जा चुका है और ये अभियान निरंतर जारी है।
And the Prime Minister, in his address on this day, addressed the digital conclave organized by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and it marked the completion of 5 years of the Skill India mission. The Prime Minister said the mantra is to stay relevant in these times of coronavirus, and it is to skill, reskill and upskill. He also said skill development not only enhances knowledge but one's talent as well, and that thousands of PM skill development centers had opened up and over 5 crore people had benefited through Pradhan Mantri skill development centers. He also said that India's growth story is based on both knowledge and skills, and skill development enhances both knowledge and talent. Skill mapping for migrant workers plays an important role in enhancing their potential. Skill mapping of migrant workers will help in making India self-reliant. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a virtual summit with European Union leaders today. A range of bilateral, regional and global issues of interest to India and the EU will figure in the talks, including trade and investment. Also on the agenda is the fight against COVID-19 and research and development on a vaccine for it. More in this report.
The 15th summit between India and the European Union will be held on 15 July via video conference. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be holding talks with the President of the European Council, Charles Michel, and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. The EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Joseph Borrell, will also participate in the talks. The summit will be an opportunity to strengthen the EU-India strategic and trade partnership. The European Union is India's largest trading partner, whilst India is the EU's 9th largest partner. The latest data on trade in bilateral goods and services registers nearly $150 billion. Both sides are also willing to re-engage for negotiations for a comprehensive and mutually beneficial free trade agreement. The EU is the second largest destination for Indian exports after USA. The EU's share in foreign investment inflows to India more than doubled from 8% to 18% in the last decade, making the EU the first foreign investor in India. EU foreign direct investment stocks in India is significant. Some 6,000 European companies are present in India, providing directly 1.7 million jobs and indirectly 5 million jobs in a broad range of sectors. Indian companies invested over 50 billion euros in Europe since 2000. The summit is happening at a time when the world is fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. The summit will be an opportunity to discuss and identify synergies in healthcare, the production of pharmaceuticals and vaccines, research and development, diagnostics and treatment. The leaders are expected to call for the future COVID-19 vaccine to become a global common good. The EU-India Summit will also delve upon global and regional issues. The leaders are expected to reaffirm their determination to promote effective multilateralism and the rules-based multilateral order with the United Nations and the World Trade Organization at its core. At the summit, the discussion is also expected on a number of pressing situations in the EU's and India's immediate neighborhoods. Sources said that the ongoing tension along the line of actual control with China Cross-border terrorism emanating from Pakistan and prospects for peace in Afghanistan may also come up for discussion during the summit. The leaders will also discuss ways to harness human-centric digitalization to develop inclusive economies and societies, including as regards data protection, 5G and artificial intelligence. Towards the conclusion, a futuristic document, a roadmap to 2025, is expected to be adopted by both the sides. The document will guide cooperation between the EU and India over the next 5 years. With inputs from Abhishek Jha, Bureau Report, DD India.
And ahead of the India-EU Summit, which will take place today, the Prime Minister in a tweet said, and I quote, "Will take part in the India-EU Summit at 4:30 p.m. today. I am confident this summit will further strengthen our economic as well as cultural linkages with Europe." Union Minister for Human Resource Development Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank and Minister of State for HRD Sanjay Dhotre on Wednesday launched a COVID-19 testing kit developed by researchers at IIT Delhi through video conferencing. According to the team at IIT Delhi, the testing method developed by them reduces the testing cost without compromising on accuracy. A low-cost COVID-19 test kit developed by the IIT became the first academic institute to develop a COVID-19 testing method, giving non-exclusive open license to companies to commercialize it. Our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to IIT Delhi Director V. Ram Gopal Rao regarding the nuances of this latest testing kit. Let's listen in.
Is Professor Ram Gopal Rao, the IIT Director Delhi, whose team has managed to come up with a very innovative testing kit, cheap as well as pretty fast in its approach to, and getting the results. IIT Delhi has been at the forefront, not just with PP kits, but other masks as well and other innovation during this COVID crisis. And now this, this kit has come, RT-PCR kit in such a cheap scale, hardly we have seen.
Yeah, so I think when we had closed down the institute about 4 months ago, we also allowed all our faculty and students working in the COVID area to stay back and work in the laboratories. And our work, we are primarily working on prevention, where we are putting out a lot of masks into the society, the complete PPE overalls. For example, from IIT Delhi, in the last 2 months, almost like 35 lakh, 3.5 million PPEs have gone into the society. Also had the detection thing, that is where the COVID, the RT-PCR test we were doing. So this is a probe-free test. The USP of this test is it doesn't use the fluorescence probe, therefore it can be indigenously manufactured and it can be scaled up very fast. And that is where the cost has come down significantly now.
Also the fact that apart from the RT-PCR, there is an ELSA test that is also coming with, and again IIT Delhi is leading from the front. What is the status of that?
The ELISA test, there are a couple of groups working very seriously on that. They are all funded by the companies. In fact, Microsoft is funding some of that research too. Now, where the idea there is a 10-minute, a blood-based kind of a test and very low cost again. And that is also getting into the market. We are doing trials as I speak.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rao. So that was Dr. Ram Gopal Rao telling us the stellar role that IIT Delhi has played during this COVID crisis, and this is a classic example of Atmanirbhar Bharat that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given call to. With cameraman Surinder, this is Tapush Bhattacharya, DD India, Delhi.
And the results of the Class 10 CBSE board exams were announced today. The overall pass percentage is 91.46%. Girls have outdone boys by 3.17%. The performance of Trivandrum region students is the best with 99.28 pass percentage. In a tweet, HRD Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said, "Dear students, parents and teachers, CBSE India 29 has announced the results of Class 10 and can be accessed at cbseresults.nic.in. We congratulate you all for making this possible. I reiterate, students' health and quality education are our priority. Meanwhile, in Assam, the flood situation has worsened further due to incessant rains in many parts of the state, resulting in the rise in a number of rivers and affecting nearly 32,94,127 people, the highest so far in the state. Borpeta district remains the worst hit with above 5 lakh affected, followed by South Salmara and Morigaon district. As many as 3,371 villages in 28 districts are reeling underwater, while over 1,28,000 hectares of cropland is submerged. 9 more people have lost their lives. The death toll has risen to 59 this season. More than 44,000 inmates are taking shelter in 517 relief camps and centers across the state. In the Kaziranga National Park, 173 camps have been inundated as 95% of the total area is submerged. NDRF along with SDRF and all other rescue teams across the state are carrying out gigantic tasks, rescuing 7,733 people besides getting relief material to the needy. Assam Chief Minister, while visiting Jonai in Dhemaji, took stock of the flood situation and assured all possible help and support to those affected. Meanwhile, landslides in Assam also claimed 26 lives, according to the State Disaster Management Authority's report. In Bihar, which is battling monsoon mayhem, the water levels in the Ganga and many other rivers surged following heavy rains in several parts of the state. Many rivers here are flowing above the danger mark. The Ganga in Patna is stable as of now, but it is also flowing close to the danger mark. Water levels of several rivers, including the Kosi, the Ganga, Bagmati and Buri Gandak, are increasing following incessant rains throughout the state. Nearly 3,15,000 cusecs of water has been discharged from the Valmiki Nagar barrage. Mumbai and adjoining areas are witnessing heavy and continuous rain since yesterday. An orange alert has been issued for North-South Konkan, North Madhya Maharashtra. For today, waterlogging has begun in low-lying areas including Parel, Hindimata, Sion, King's Circle, Andheri. The BMC has advised Mumbaikars not to venture close to the sea or in areas where there is waterlogging. Other parts of the state including Sindhudurg, Ratnagiri, Nashik, Raigarh and Palghar are also experiencing continuous rains. And the number of those recovered from COVID-19 continues to increase steadily in India. The recovery rate in the country has climbed to 63.23%, 3,19,840 active cases have been reported so far, and 5,92,031 people have been cured or discharged. The death toll now stands at 24,309. In the last 24 hours, 582 deaths have been reported. 29,429 new cases have been reported in the past 24 hours. Amid the rising number of coronavirus cases, the Nitish Kumar government in Bihar has decided to impose a complete lockdown in the state once again from the 16th of July till the 31st of July. However, there will be no restrictions on emergency services. Train and flight services will also continue. Moreover, public transport services, shopping malls and religious sites like temples across the state will remain closed till the 31st of July. However, local fruits and vegetable shops will remain open in the morning and the evening. Earlier, the lockdown had been imposed in 20 districts across the state. The number of active cases in the state is nearing 5,000. However, 12,364 patients have recovered. The state's recovery rate has further improved to 70.97%. And moving on to some international news, U.S. President Donald Trump has said that the immigration executive order his administration was planning would be merit-based. The Trump administration has agreed to rescind its July 6th rule, which temporarily bars international students from staying in the U.S. unless they attend at least one in-person course. A federal district court judge said the U-turn by the Trump administration comes following a nationwide outrage against the July 6th order and a series of lawsuits filed by a large number of educational institutions. The announcement comes as a big relief to many international students, including those from India. In the 2018-19 academic year, there were over 10 lakh international students in the U.S.
I'm going to take care of DACA much better than the Democrats did. The Democrats had their chance, and they blew it. But we're going to take care of DACA because I'm going to be doing, in the not too distant future, pretty soon, I'm going to be signing a new immigration action, very, very big merit-based immigration action that based on the DACA decision, I'll be able to do.
U.S. President Donald Trump signed into law the Hong Kong Autonomy Act on Tuesday. He also signed an executive order ending U.S. preferential treatment for Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Autonomy Act was passed unanimously by Congress. He added that the law gives his administration powerful new tools to hold responsible the individuals and the entities involved to extinguish Hong Kong's freedom. The president also said that he had signed an executive order ending U.S. preferential treatment for Hong Kong.
Today I signed legislation and an executive order to hold China accountable for its oppressive actions against the people of Hong Kong. The Hong Kong Autonomy Act, which I signed this afternoon, passed unanimously through Congress. This law gives my administration powerful new tools to hold responsible the individuals and the entities involved in extinguishing Hong Kong's freedom. We've all watched what happened. Not a good situation. Today, I also signed an executive order ending U.S. preferential treatment for Hong Kong. Hong Kong will now be treated the same as mainland China. No special privileges, no special economic treatment, and no export of sensitive technologies.
The U.S. president has asserted that China is fully responsible for concealing the coronavirus and unleashing it on the world. Trump added that the U.S. had left the Chinese-dominated World Health Organization because he was opposed to the U.S. financially contributing more than China to the UN agency. He, however, added that he was open to the possibility of rejoining when it's currently run and not a puppet of China. In an interview with a news agency, the U.S. president's niece, Mary Trump, said that her uncle is incapable of leading this country. She added that it was dangerous to allow him to run the country based on the scenario of her entire adult life. Mary Trump's interview comes days after the publication of her new book, Too Much and Never Enough: How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man, that offers an unflattering look at the U.S. president and his family.
Of leading this country, and it's dangerous to allow him to do so, based on what I've seen my entire adult life.
And let's now take a look at global updates on COVID-19. The virus has claimed the lives of over 5,77,000 people worldwide, while over 1.32 crore have contracted the infection so far. The United States and Brazil remain the worst affected in terms of infections and fatalities. The U.S. has so far recorded over 34,28,000 cases and over 1,36,000 deaths, while Brazil has recorded over 19,26,000 infections and 74,133 deaths. Talking of death tolls worldwide, the US and Brazil are followed by the UK with 45,053 fatalities, further followed by Italy, Mexico and France. In the United States, coronavirus infections are rising in about 40 states, with Florida fast becoming America's latest COVID-19 epicenter. With over 34,16,000 confirmed cases and over 1,36,000 deaths, the United States continues to remain the worst affected in the world. In Florida, over 4,400 people have died due to the virus till yesterday, and the state's weekly average has risen to 81 people each day by local counts. While 132 deaths were reported, Florida's daily increase in cases has already surpassed the highest daily tally reported by any European country. During the height of the pandemic there, Florida's governor said that the state has also broken New York State's record of 12,847 new cases on April 10th, when it was the epicenter of the US outbreak. In California, people extended support to their governor's decision to clamp new restrictions on businesses as coronavirus cases and hospitalizations soar across the state. The governor on Monday ordered bars closed and restaurants, movie theaters, zoos and museums across the nation's most populous state to cease indoor operations. He also said that closed businesses was critical to stemming a surge in COVID cases that have strained hospitals in several of California's rural counties. Meanwhile, while most public schools across the U.S. will begin the new year with online education in the fall, private schools in Los Angeles are preparing to open their classroom doors to students for face-to-face learning. Schools are adjusting classrooms for social distancing with cardboard partitions on top of desks to keep students apart. Class sizes have also been modified, and temperature checks will be carried out when lessons resume on the 9th of September. New York City, once the epicenter of the nation's coronavirus outbreak, is now started to report 0 confirmed or probable virus deaths since the pandemic hit the state. New York City has reported a total of 18,670 confirmed deaths and 4,613 probable ones. Indoor dining in the city has been postponed indefinitely as other states, including Texas and Florida, have seen spikes in new cases after reopening bars and restaurants. Meanwhile, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden attacked Donald Trump's handling of the pandemic. He accused him of presenting Americans with a false choice between protecting their health and protecting the economy. Speaking at an event in Delaware, Biden asked Trump to work for the country because if public health crisis worsens, how will America deal with the economic crisis or deal with almost 18 million Americans out of work and the incredible pain inflicted on small businesses and communities of color? And nearly 2,000 volunteers in Brazil's largest city of Sao Paulo are a part of mass human trials for the experimental COVID-19 vaccine developed by researchers at the University of Oxford and AstraZeneca. Researchers are looking at places like Brazil, where the virus is still spreading rapidly, to test potential vaccines. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. Stay tuned. Namaskar.